Of all the areas in my apartment, my desk area is probably the one that I've organized and reorganized the most. Instincts may say, wow, I suck at keeping this area organized, and I guess there is perhaps an argument for that. However, this is also one of the most used areas of my apartment, so I've come to expect that this is a spot that needs pretty regular maintenance. So today is refresh my desk day. I'm really pumped about this because, like I said, this is an area I use a lot, and when it's not optimized, I can feel it in my workflow, I can feel it in my mood. I want to feel excited to be in this space, so it's worth investing some time into getting it there. The sun just keeps popping in and out. I don't know. We're just gonna make it work. Let's go. I love my file sorter that I have here for keeping things like books, notebooks, and sometimes my e-reader, my iPad, all that like organized, but I also feel like it just encourages growth in the form of more stacks, and I don't want all this because this starts to add like clutter. Definitely want to try and remove as much of this as possible. I'm gonna take it out of there for now, and I'm just gonna remove everything honestly and kind of start from scratch. This organizer too I really do love, but again I feel like it's kind of morphed into holding things I don't really want in there. For example, behind these rulers, I've stuffed a receipt. There's a notebook, another receipt, a lip balm that's been there for ages. Proud that this basket on top of my printer has become a little bit of a crochet supply excess area. A little crochet fox kit that I want to do. More yarn. Like, this stuff needs to go where the crochet stuff goes. I think these right here are some of my first ever chains that I experimented on. This is where I started, and crocheted whales is where I've ended so far. I've had this on my desk for years. I love it, but I also don't really know what's inside of it because I'm pretty sure I'm just storing random stuff in it. I'm bad for like keeping even tags of clothing. Oh my god, bad. I've noticed that when I have long editing days at my computer, which is quite often because I edit all the content you see here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, I have been getting super tense in my shoulders and neck to the point where like I just find I easily kink it, which is upsetting because I do a lot of like yoga in my movement routine, so you'd think I'd be all like stretched out, but I just think I hold so much in my shoulders and neck because of that down facing position, particularly towards my laptop, which is what I edit a majority of my content on. So even though I have like this little tilt, I don't feel like it's raised enough for me not to be looking down. Plus I'm a big reader, as you know, so I'm also looking down a lot. I just think this muscle isn't loving that. So I have made an adjustment by purchasing this laptop stand that is hopefully going to raise my laptop to a little bit easier of a height, and then I think I'll use like a keyboard and mouse to do all my editing because I assume this is going to raise it to the point where my keyboard is not going to be really functional. Assuming anyone who has an office job probably relates to this experience, but yeah, I need to see if this works out. I usually try not to buy new things, like at least in the latest little bit of my life. I try and make do with things I have in my apartment. And I have been using like this little box to stand my laptop on, but it takes up a lot of space and it's not easy to move around. And I feel like, again, it could go even higher, the screen, so we're hoping. In addition to this one, I also picked up this guy right here. These are both from Amazon, by the way. I'll have them linked in the description box below. But this is a stand that is meant to be for my iPad. So again, I use my iPad a lot for stylus work when I'm doing editing. I also use it as a secondary screen at times. I use it a lot as a screen for my workouts, so I just think this is going to be really handy. I really do love the fact that it just folds down into itself so that when I'm not using it, I can easily store it away. I think my iPad I'm going to keep on this side because realistically I tend to laptop on this side, on the right side of my desk. I do like the fact that these match really nicely. Huh. Am I okay? Please hold. I might not be that bright. How to adjust it. Okay. Okay. It just required a little bit of force. That's all I had to do. I'll say now that it's up, I do appreciate that this also collapses so nicely. Both of these are gonna be really easy to slip into a drawer when they're not in use, because otherwise if they just stayed like this, it'd be very bulky. It goes on like this, and then bada boom. See, already I can see that being so much better because then it's eye level with my desktop. I've been thinking about this and I feel like it might be time to get rid of this thing on the desk. Not get rid of, but like it might be time to swap it out for something else and keep all my pens up here. Like I'm gonna go through this and see what I actually use on a day-to-day basis. But if I can lift it up, then I don't need to have it on here. One of the things I like to always have accessible are some sticky notes, and on this board I typically display them like this, which is fine. It definitely does the job. Then I just take it off and peel off whatever I need. But there's the extra step there of like taking it off. But what if I could make it so that I could just directly peel it off the board? Couple of sheets, stick a clip in like that. And now when this goes on the board, I'm easily able to peel what I need and it's still on there. Small efficiency. So admittedly, the board isn't that different from how it started, but I do think the small tweaks I've made are great, and it's gonna be nice to just rely on that pen holder right there for all my pen needs and just not have an extra element on the desk. Just get very tactile with my space, and there ends up being like usually like a lot of stationery, a lot of sticky notes, a lot of papers happening, that having more space to do that that's uninterrupted is always really helpful. It also makes dusting a lot easier, so that is going to be a nice little shift. I also remembered though that a friend of mine had gifted me this Lego set that allows me to create a camera, which actually it's one of those 3-in-1 sets, so technically all of the pieces can be used to make 3 different designs, but I'm using the camera option because I use a camera every single day, so it feels like a really fun piece to have in my office. This one was so easy to put together. I think it looks adorable. I love the fact that the back actually opens and there's film that you can swap out. I love all the buttons that you can press and move around. When I bought my iPad stand and the laptop stand, I also bought a new case for my iPad because, as you can tell, it is falling apart and all of this peels and ends up everywhere. I haven't taken this iPad out of this case in ages. And this is the new case. How fun, right? A little purple moment. Ooh, look how pretty that is. This top drawer definitely needs a little rejudging. Like, and again, another clothing tag. I need to stop doing that. Just in case you're like, oh my gosh, Caitlin, you're so organized. How do you do it? I don't really want to talk about this. Again, we're gonna quickly go through it. Garbage, garbage. Already, things are looking much better. That took maybe 7 minutes and this has been transformed. I really can't underestimate the power of just spending 10 minutes on a drawer, because now I know peace when I open this up and it's usable and I can see things like my see-through highlighters that are great for highlighting books, or these tabs that I can use for annotating books. Like, all of this was so buried. What am I doing? Okay, it's fine. I just finished filling up the pen cup that's gonna go on my board, and I thought I'd give you a tour of what I have in here, what I consider the day-to-day essentials. These mild liner double-ended highlighters, no surprise to see these in here. Love these for annotating books, and I really love this color wave. It's a little bit more on the neutral side, and this brown is gorgeous as well. I need to find more neutral highlighter companies, so if you know of any recommendations, let me know. In the pencil category, I have an unsharpened Blackwing Pearl. This is one of my favorite manual pencils. I know that's a weird thing to say, but once you do write with a Blackwing pencil, you realize every other pencil has been a lie. And then I'm also gonna try out this monograph Tombow pencil. I haven't used this in a really long time, so I'm gonna force myself to experiment with it. It is one of my goals, is just to start rotating out my stationery so that I'm actually using all the things I have. The marker-like writing utensils include these 4 guys. A Sharpie permanent marker, because you always need to have a black Sharpie permanent marker on hand. I've got the Sharpie pen, which is great if you just want some bold black in your planner. And these 2 are both from Tombow. This one is the Tombow Twin Tone, a dual-ended pen / marker. I just love this color. And then the Mono Twin from Tombow is another one I use all the time when I want a nice bold black line. This has a pen end, but then this side is a nice thick black side. So whenever I want to like add some black accents to my Kindle decor, or I want to outline a doodle in my planner, like this is the go-to. An X-Acto knife from Cricut, again, one of those things that you think you don't need, and some reason I need this all the time. I've got some colored pens, a purple RSVP pen from Pentel, and then these two gray jelly rolls, because gray is such a great planner pen. It's like writing in pencil, but permanent. Oh, how poetic, oh my goodness. But yeah, I like sometimes having something permanently in my planner, like with a pen, but it not being so in your face, and black or blue or red is obviously a lot more distinct. This is a little bit more like, ooh, we've made plans, but have we really? And I've saved the best for last, my everyday writing pens. I've got two ballpoint pens from Lamy. I think these are Safari, or is that what the fountain pen is? I don't know, but these are great. Solid ballpoint pens, and I love the accordion. Clicker clacker. I also have a Lamy fountain pen, which admittedly I don't use a lot these days, but maybe I should change my morning pages journaling sessions to this just so I can feel extra fancy. Oh, I actually forgot the white pen in my colored pens, but a white jelly roll is also key. I've got a Muji gel point pen in 0.5, but probably my most used pen still to this day is the Sharpie S-Gel in 0.7. I really like the metal barrel pen. Actually, someone was asking me about this pen the other day on Instagram stories, and I was talking about how this is the same pen, just in different outsides. They're both black ink, but something about the metal barrel just makes me feel like I write better. I feel like it feels better in my hand than the plastic. It's the cooling of the metal that's really nice, feels a little luxe. And there you go, that is my current daily pen setup. My other laptop tilt that's a little bit shorter does fit nicely in this gold basket to make like a book ledge. So I'm gonna add a couple more notebooks I like to use here. My 5-minute journal fit edition and these productivity planner cards. Kind of pretty, right? We'll see how long that lasts, but that's the move. As you can see, the wallpaper on my laptop is just not serving me any joy. And admittedly, I'm kind of over this one on my iMac too, so I'm gonna make some changes here. I love using Canva for this because you can customize your wallpaper with your own graphics and color scheme. Hello, hello. It is a new day, and yes, I did change the wallpapers. Let me show you. I used a template from Canva and made changes to the background photo and the quote. I think the reminder to take a breath is something we all need a gentle nudging to do, especially during the workday when we're getting caught up in things that really don't mean much in the grand scheme of things, you know? And whereas this one's more water, nature, people, connection, this one's a little bit more city-like, moody and darkness, and both of these are facets of my personality. I resonate with both of these images, which is so funny because they're so different, but I think it's cute that I have a representation of both. So I really put thought into these wallpapers, and I feel like you should too. Don't just slap anything on there. Put something on there that makes you happy. Just the few hours I've been able to work on this desk since doing this has made me feel so much better. And I think this whole experience is yet again evidence of the fact that I really do believe that there's so much power in small changes and small shifts, whether it's to our spaces or to our lives or routines or habits. When something doesn't feel right, it's easy to think we need these big changes, a complete makeover in our room, a complete makeover with our life. But those makeovers are also really intimidating because they're big projects. They come with a lot of baggage. And if you're someone that's like a perfectionist mindset where it's like you have to do it perfectly or not do it at all, then that can really stop you from making any changes whatsoever. And those small things are a lot less intimidating to tackle, but they can add up to big stuff. I think it's really important not to discredit them and to see value in the smaller shifts, like I've done here today. These smaller shifts I think are gonna actually be very powerful, and I also think that it's healthy just to keep things zhuzhed up a little bit. I'm really pumped about my new stands and my wallpapers, and even just the fact that I'm switching up my pen routine situation. Little things, but fun. Curious to know though, what spring cleaning, organizing videos would you be interested in seeing this year? Because I did my closet last year, which I really loved tackling. I have an idea for another space, but I'm just curious also to know what is of interest to you, and just in general, like what organization topics are of interest. Do you want to see more digital organization? Do you want to see more paper organizing? I just feel like that's in my heart something I always tend to go back to on this channel. So any feedback would be much appreciated. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure today, and I will see you all soon with a new one. Until then, toodles.